We know that their de facto leader, J.Y. Lee, has been sentenced to 5 years in jail. But I mean, look, if you look at that aside, it doesn't seem to have impacted the Samsung's performance at all. Again, they turned over record profits last year and have started strongly, or they're forecast to start strongly this year too. So there seems to be a lot of positive momentum for Samsung. But look, at the same time, a lot of headwinds, I'd say. If you look at what's happening in the semiconductor space, chip prices, there could be a bit of pressure on that this year. That's something that they benefited from last year. The fact that there was a lot of demand and not enough supply, that really drove prices through the roof, and that allowed them to turn that profit last year. Another big headwind, of course, is the fact that Apple is reportedly could drop Samsung as a supplier for their OLED screens. That was the first time they'd used this OLED display panel on the iPhone in the form of the iPhone 10. Now, Samsung was the only supplier for that, and there's reports now that actually Apple could be looking to perhaps LG for its next lineup of phones that do use OLED. Now, that could be another big headwind for Samsung, as well as a slowing smartphone market. So while last year was very, very strong for the company, it had a lot going for it, this year does seem to be a tougher year.
Apple is proving a challenging customer for some by taking certain facilities in-house, certain technology. I mean, you like this sector, Neil. Does it worry you that Apple continues to change its mind about whether it wants to be outsourcing or whether it wants to have a lot of this in-house so it can control the process?
It does. It's difficult for the sector. It just makes me even happier to be in the names like Infineon, like ASML. You're not having to take not a bet, but you're trying to read things that are very difficult with each new iteration. Which way does it go? So, more interested in the machines that make semiconductors or the automotive side in Infineon.
Yeah, I think, what you've seen with Apple is over the past couple of years, they've been moving away from suppliers. There was a supplier here in the UK called Imagination Technologies. If you remember that story last year, Apple said, well, we're going to slowly wean ourselves off of your technology and build it in-house. That, of course, gives Apple greater control on when it releases its product. It gives it greater control on the way it integrates its hardware product with the software and services that it produces as well. So it does make sense for Apple, and I think it is a worry for the sector as a whole when you look at some of the chip makers. Not all of them, but some of them for sure.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.